number 8, we have the UFO site. So back in 2015, NASA was accused of stopping their live feed from the international. Space station just as the UFO came into sight.
Really? Is that how you want to play it? You sure? I don't think that's the right move. Nope.
It's hard to tell in the video, but a tiny grey circular object rises and then disappears in the footage. right before the cutoff. I mean, it could also totally not be a UFO, but it's still an unidentified flying object, so make of that what you will. Dr. Brian O'Leary, an ex-NASA astronaut, said there's abundant evidence that we're being contacted and that civilizations have been visiting us for ages. Dr. Edgar Mitchell, the sixth person on the moon, said there has been crashed craft and bodies recovered. We aren't alone in the universe, they've been coming here for a long time. These are their words, not mine. Filling our number 7 slot is Oumuamua, or its official name A/2017 UI. In 2017, the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope saw something zoom into our solar system. It's the first object ever that came from outside our solar system. At first they thought it was an asteroid or a comet due to its orbit, but they concluded it was from interstellar space. As soon as they found it, multiple telescopes around the globe focused in on it for 3 whole days. It was a rotating object the size of a football field. Literally, it was 10 times longer than it was wide, and it changed in brightness dramatically.
I like it. Yep, it's mine. The prices blow my mind. I feel so rich. Oh yeah. I feel like a billionaire. I'm shopping like a billionaire. I'm shopping like a billionaire. Let's go. I'm shopping like a billionaire. I get it straight from the makers. I'm shopping like a billionaire.
Download the Temu app and shop like a billionaire.
Hey, Turkey Club.
I feel like everybody's talking about Bitcoin these days. Do you have any?
Yeah, thanks to Cash App, I do.
You bought a whole Bitcoin?
No, Megan, you don't need thousands to get in on Bitcoin. With Cash App, you can get fractional shares for as little as $1. Matter of fact, I'm gonna buy some more Bitcoin right now. Bang, done.
It's that easy?
It's that easy. And on top of that, when I turn on my Bitcoin boost, I get 10% of my purchase back in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin boost. That's my speed.
There you go. With Cash App, it's easy to get your start. Investing is simpler and faster. Download Cash App today.
It seemed to be a long cigar-shaped object with a reddish hue that came from millions of years of radiation from cosmic rays, and it spun on its axis every 7.3 hours. Its Hawaiian name Oumuamua means a messenger that reaches out from the distant past, which is pretty fitting if you ask me. Now, astronomers have figured out that the object came from the direction of Vega, which is a star in the Lyra constellation. But given that Oumuamua is traveling at 85,700 miles per hour, it would have taken a long time to travel that distance, and Lyra obviously isn't in the same place it was 300,000 years ago, so we really have no idea where it really originates from. We're trying to track it for as long as possible. It passed Mars and Jupiter's orbit, and it recently just passed Saturn's in January of 2019. It's en route to the Pegasus constellation and to be out of ours for a very long time. Now at number 6 is the music. In May of 1969, the crew of Apollo 10 heard some sort of outer space type music as they passed over the far side of the moon. They had been cut off from contact with Houston, so the 3 of them listened to this alone, and when communication channels reopened, they didn't mention the incident because they were worried the land crew would be concerned about their psychological state. The noise sounds like a low frequency whistling noise. For 1 hour, the astronauts and the recording talk about the weird tune but can come up with no explanation for it. Some say maybe it was an alien orchestra or the sound of a vessel nearby, while radio technicians guess it's probably from signal interference between the lunar modules and the command module's VHF radios. Which probably is the right answer, I'm not gonna lie. Just doesn't sound like an alien orchestra. Coming in at number 5 is the Green Orb. Now Major Gordon Cooper was orbiting the Earth in the Mercury capsule as part of the Mercury missions. However, during the mission he said he witnessed a green orb coming towards him. He quickly called mission control and started the emergency procedures, but the orb then randomly just disappeared. Even a tracking station in Muchie, Australia picked up an object approaching the capsule, so it definitely existed and it was definitely there, yet we have no explanations for this space orb. At number 4 is the flying object. In March of 1991, Russian cosmonaut Musa Manarov filmed a very strange occurrence from the Mir space station. Way behind the station in the distance there seemed to be a weird white reflective object. From what I could tell, it was a vertical spacecraft that was almost reflecting light off of it every few seconds. At one point the reflection light turns a reddish color and then the craft changes from vertical to horizontal and continues moving. The footage I watched came from the archives of the Soviet space authorities, so at least we know that it's legit. Most critics tried to argue the video was simply some space junk, but Musa vehemently disagreed. Filling our number 3 slot is the Millennium Falcon. Now while watching the ISS NASA live feed back in 2016, Jaden Beeson said he saw a metal spaceship. He said the UFO that he saw seemed similar to the Millennium Falcon found in Star Wars, so he realized he definitely needed to take a screenshot to prove what he was seeing. The metal craft had a blue glow to it and stayed hovering above Earth for about 2 minutes. It's very clear to see it's not a small craft by any means. Either way, Jaden sent the image to NASA but has not gotten any explanation or response back, which makes the whole thing even more suspicious. Are all these crafts just hovering above Earth and then just going away? Why? Please just come in, you guys. We are friends. Friends of ET, friends of extraterrestrials. Now at number 2 are the Dropa stones in space. Didn't think that one would make a comeback in the video, now did you? Back in 2006, NASA taped some debris floating around the shuttle Atlantis on mission STS-115. The first thing seen is a rectangular object that seems to be in the same orbital path as the Atlantis. The debris were donut-like white objects that were pulsating with light. Now most people think it wasn't debris at all, and that NASA is just saying that when they full well know it's something else. They told the public that maybe the debris were items that had gotten loose from the shuttle or had accidentally discharged from the bay. The Atlantis flight director said it's common to see bits of debris when astronauts open the payload doors at the start of mission, but it's unusual seeing objects late in the mission as they did in this case. But the debris had an uncannily similar appearance to the Dropa stone-shaped things that were found passing the STS-75 mission as well. The stones were miles wide and could be seen.
I wanna go home. I wanna go. I wanna go. I wanna go. I wanna go.
Behind a 12-mile tether as it went into space and snapped loose. And finally, at number 1 is Major Vladimir. Now Major General Vladimir Kovalnyuk was a cosmonaut in the 80s who saw something bizarre during the Saljut mission. They were moving over South Africa when he saw an oval-shaped object. Initially it flew straight, but then an explosion of golden light happened. A few seconds later the oval object transformed into 2 golden spheres. After that, Vladimir just saw white smoke and the spheres had just disappeared. He said he tried to take a picture of it, but it exploded just before he could. When he reported to Mission Control, it was all over Soviet headlines, magazines, newspapers, and most people excluded any option of it being extraterrestrial, but it did happen. It has no explanation and it was seen by not 1 but 2 people, Vladimir and his partner Viktor Savink.
Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have how big is the universe? Okay, so we have our sun, which is a star that is surrounded by, we'll say 9 planets, and that makes up our solar system. Our solar system is located within the Milky Way galaxy, and it is currently believed that there are about 200 other solar systems in our galaxy. That's a lot of planets floating around in our galaxy alone, but that's not it. In our observable universe, the things we can tangibly see, there's about 150 billion other galaxies. And that's just what we can see. That number could technically go on for, well, that's exactly the thing. We don't know how much that number could grow, but it's been theorized that the number is 250 times higher than the 150 billion we can see. That's like an incomprehensible amount, and that's just galaxies. When we take that knowledge and apply it to how many solar systems that would mean,